Good afternoon from chilled out Philippines, and welcome to Teletalks, where I share my everyday thoughts and everyday experiences. I'm super stoked that you have decided to spend your next few minutes with me, your girl. And in today's video, it is all about making peace with uncertainty. And if you don't know anything about me, I left the city life to live a slower life in the islands, or as we call it, the probinsya, aka countryside of the Philippines. I feel really lucky to be a citizen. I was born and raised in the Philippines. I probably will be spending my final days here, and I just really love the slow life. And I can't wait to dive deeper into this video and tell you more about it. I thought this might be a perfect topic to share with you because I left a life where everything was certain. I left a good paying job. I actually owned my business before. I've always wanted to have my own job and get employed, but for some reason it just never worked out that way. So I kind of had this entrepreneurial spirit eventually because I was just so eager and hungry to start working. I never finished college. I finished only until when I was 18 years old, so first year college, and then I wouldn't say I what's the word? I haven't been in school in a long time. I can't even remember, like, flunked. Flunk is when you fail, right? I actually just never wanted to go to college to begin with. I think in high school I already knew that I wanted to start working. But basically, long story short, I have been working in the corporate life for more than 10 years. And initially, I thought it was fun and exciting. And then I think eventually what happened there was I felt very disconnected to myself, to people in general, to nature. I just didn't feel alive anymore. And I think the problem there was I had no balance. And so the only thing I knew what to do was to take a vacation, which eventually led into a permanent one. When I started going scuba diving, I really felt more in touch with life. I started to discover more about myself. And I think that's kind of a very good lesson for all of us to learn, is that when we are so used to a specific routine or a specific lifestyle, we never know our true potential, or we never know what adventure awaits the moment we will only realize that the moment we step out of our comfort zone. And I think it's really important that, like, even if you have all of these safety blankets around you, it's good once in a while to step out of that. Creating safety without knowing. And obviously, when I left my steady lifestyle, everything was really comfortable, and there was really nothing for me to worry about when, again, I was working in the city. But I really felt practically dead. I wasn't happy anymore. And even if we were successful at work, I felt like there was something missing, and I just couldn't imagine myself doing that until the day I die. So, um, make the long story short, I really fell in love with living closer to nature. And again, another long story short, in one sentence, I am currently jobless. I also don't have kids and I'm not married. So I just feel like when you create safety in uncertainty, you really have to teach yourself that when things don't go as planned, you can always fall to your breath for security. I do a lot of breath work. I also do a lot of yoga and meditation. And, there's one thing that will always remain consistent, and it's you and yourself, and you and your breath. And especially when there's certain situations that I suppose give me anxiety or stress. But then when I really catch my breath and I just, like, focus on it and breathe for a couple of minutes, I just feel so much more at peace. And this is me, and you can do this as well. This is you training your nervous system on how to find uncertainty, how to be okay with uncertainty, how to find safety in it. Because honestly, we never know what's going to happen. Everything is impermanent, things are always changing. There is a quote, I think I've read this in one of my Buddhist books, but said something like, you can never cross the same river twice. And that's just because no matter how much we want things to remain permanent, or you know, that feeling when you're happy and you just want to bask in that happiness forever and you never want time to stop. And I mean, you want time to stop, you want to just be in this moment of pure bliss. But as you probably know, what is up will eventually come down, and what is down will eventually go up. And that's just really how life is like. There's so much ups and downs. But the important thing here is aparigraha, which means detachment, which means, you approach things with kindness and compassion, but you are detached from the outcome. You, let's say you feel happy or you feel sad, you are experiencing those emotions, but you don't identify with it. That's what detachment means, or the Sanskrit word aparigraha. There is also another Sanskrit word, I'm trying to remember. Okay, let me get back with you. I guess what I wanted to say, I actually couldn't remember that Sanskrit word, but there's another one that's called swara. And I heard this from one of the podcasts I was listening to about living a yogic lifestyle. And what swara is it's the awareness of your first morning breath. So when you wake up in the morning, you take a big gulp of air and you recognize how grateful you are for another day, another life, or another breath of life. And you know, a lot of these things we take for granted just because we experience it all the time. And I guess that's what living in the islands has taught me. When you're living in the city, you have your everyday conveniences, your Wi-Fi, your electricity, your water. But when I moved to a small island over at Mindanao, our power goes out. That means we also don't have water source because it's powered by a pump, aka electricity. And also when the power goes out, we don't have our networks, like our phones, or we don't have any signal. And you know, all of these basic necessities or conveniences that you get in the city, that gets taken away from us at least once a week without even us knowing. And when you remind yourself to be very grounded and grateful for each morning, that really sets your nervous system into a good point, into homeostasis. Oh, I don't know if you can hear the thunder. It's about to rain, I think. I guess what I wanted to say is that when I wake up in the morning and I don't know what's going to happen to me because, again, I don't have a job, I am relying on YouTube for my bread and butter, for my income. I shouldn't be saying that because, you know, I should have something more stable. YouTube does not pay anything. Um, Thank you to my members who have joined. I really love you and I appreciate you. Really, I do. There is also another site that I've probably been flashing QR codes on the screen. It's Buy Me a Coffee. YouTube gets 30% from any income that has been given to me on this platform. And then whatever's left there are more tax deductions, whereas Buy Me a Coffee only gets 5%. So if you want to buy your girl a coffee or an iced chocolate drink or a smoothie, I would love you for that. Feel free to scan the QR codes. It's easy enough to do that with your phones. There are also clickable links below. And when I wake up in the morning, I really don't know what's going to happen to me because, again, I left my job. And whatever small income that I have from this, I'm so grateful, and I choose to surrender and trust that everything's gonna be okay. So this is me training my nervous system to take a chill pill and relax. If you are like me, you like to plan 10 years ahead, or you are an overthinker, it can be very daunting, but I have somehow learned how to surrender in uncertainty. Turning not knowing into power, I believe that there are many limitations with certainty. And of course, a lot of this, it will really depend on which side you're sitting on and your perception. I mean, two realities can have completely opposite experiences depending on how it's perceived. And so, you know, when there are certainties, a lot of this comes from probably patterns, mental constructs, preconditioning, preconceived judgments. And while that might give a lot of security or safety to people, it can also be very restricting because you expect a certain outcome. Whereas if you bask into the mystery of the unknown, you are practically opening your heart, your mind, yourself to the unlimited possibilities, the unlimited potential of, your hopes and your dreams. And never in my wild life did I imagine that I would be living out of the city, and I started taking baby steps. And all of that really is celebrating small wins. I used to travel with so many luggages, and then eventually I left all my things here in the islands. And then little by little, I started moving. And this is within a span of, I would say, probably close to 7 years. But of course, the first couple of years, I still didn't know where to live just yet. And then it was only the last year that I decided to just, yeah, slowly by slowly, not moving my things back to the city and just leaving things. And if you want to know more, I actually talk about this in greater detail over at the membership at Buy Me a Coffee. It's a safe space where I can literally just open up and share with you all my plans behind the scenes. It's a safe space between two parties wherein when you join the membership, it'll give you instructions on how to get in touch with me. I've had members asking me how much I really make in YouTube, so I do a live screenshot. I've also had members asking me, how do I deal with power outs? How do they know they're not dating a scammer in the Philippines? There's just a bunch of very diverse people and questions, and I absolutely love being able to entertain them to my utmost ability. And I just think that it is so much, it is a very mutual benefit for both parties. And yeah, if you feel interested to check it out, have a look. But yeah, there is so much greatness in being comfortable with uncertainty, because it opens up so many windows to unlimited possibilities. Just a quick break to let you know how grateful I am that you've chosen to spend your time with me on this channel. If you've been with me from the very beginning of this channel, I just really want to let you know how much I appreciate you and your time. Without you on this channel, without the watch hours, this channel wouldn't exist. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. With that, I'd love to invite you to join my membership by clicking on the QR code on the screen. It'll link you to my Buy Me a Coffee page, where you'll see photos of the plans. I'd love to create an edible jungle where we can feed the locals, we can feed tourists, we can just create a more sustainable lifestyle for everybody. That's where your support is gonna go to. You can also choose to join the membership right here on YouTube for your convenience. And with that, you'll get a lot of perks, such as behind the scenes from yours truly. Once you've joined my membership, please don't forget to send me an email or message me directly on Instagram, and I'd love to show you where your support will go. With that said, again, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for choosing to stick around with me in this channel. I love you so much. Let's go back to this video. Spiritual trust, and it's taken me, of course, a while to get to this place. Initially, I felt very insecure, and I had a lot of self-doubts because most of my validations came externally. When I had my own business, I had a job title which was, say, director or manager or CEO, and a lot of the times that was very impressive for people to know that I ran my own company. Of course, me and my business partner then, I couldn't have done it without my business partner, of course. But there was a lot of pride and ego that was being fed in the city. There's a lot of consumerism and materialism. But here in the islands, we really take care of our relationships. We don't really care what job title you carry. We just want to make sure you have food to eat, a roof over your head. And things are much simpler here. And in terms of spirituality, because I was really having a lot of self-pity at one point, like, why am I not married? Why don't I have kids? Why haven't I found a stable career until now? And sometimes the universe or God really has a way of allowing you to take a step back and pause. And it's not even about, why is this not happening to me? It's more about, what is the universe preparing me for? And so fast forward to today, I actually share all of this in my Buy Me a Coffee. So many interesting things have unfolded in literally the past 6 months, and hands down, I don't know where this came from. I'm actually getting goosebumps talking about it, but I've been waiting for a breakthrough for more than 7 years, and I just I don't want to say I was living on a limbo because I knew that I really enjoyed making YouTube videos. I do this because it really excites me to just share the love and spread the news and being able to reach out to anyone and everyone around the world. But of course, behind the scenes, I was wondering, when is this going to be financially sustainable? What am I going to do with my life, career wise, and even my personal life? So, in the past 6 months, there's just a lot that's been unfolding. And again, to all of those who have supported, I really can't thank you enough. You don't know how it's like to be at the end of your biological clock, not having all the typical milestones that other people have, which is a house, a car, a husband, a wife. Well, I'm straight. Not having kids, not having a job. It's just so many milestones that other people celebrate, and I never had those. So it just made me wonder. Well, the never had those part, of course, is about the husband and the kids. I had a job once I left. I don't have a job now, so it just makes me wonder, like, where are my milestones? And for those again who have chosen to support the channel, I really thank you, because it's really encouraged me to be here today, still continuing to record these videos. And I hope that I'm able to enlighten someone, anyone, or if you find this entertaining, I'm glad. And I also don't know where the channel will go 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Obviously, I'm gonna get older by then, and it's just so curious to know if I will be continuing this or not. But for as long as I can, I would absolutely love to share videos with you about the Philippines, what it's like to work here, retire here. I feel like I have the best of both worlds, being able to live the provincia life, or the province life, or the countryside life, aka island living. And I also know what it's like to come from the city. So yeah, I feel like I have a lot to share, and I would love to think that it'll be sustainable in the coming years. But with that note, if you made it this far in the video, I send you infinite love. Thank you so much for your time. I would love to hear your thoughts. There's always a comment box below. Reach out to me if you'd like to check out my Buy Me a Coffee. And with that said, I send you a lot of tropical vibes from the Philippines. I think it's about to rain. Sending you a lot of fresh air. There's a lot of greenery outside. I don't know. You can see the trees. Much love, and ciao for now.